we're going to get ourselves all ready. So it is Spinal Week. And in truth, all of somatics is spinal because all our movements originate from the neurocommunicators, the motor nerves, and then we get some feedback from the sensory nerves. The motor cortex thinks about it, and then again, there goes the loop. And so it's all about gaining access so that we don't succumb to only habitual movement patterns, but that we really have the full registry available. And I do invite you to just let your legs slide out and pause. Let there be a sense of both checking in, but also a sense of just saying, hello, how are you? We can have such a long to-do list that we sometimes lose touch with this inner light of ourselves, tending to all the lights outside. With that awareness of maybe there's a little bit of a listing, maybe one leg rolls out more than the other, maybe one shoulder blade is a little bit more pokey. What about the chin? Does that poke up? Or does it just rest comfortably down? So as always, if it does pull back, then support your head with a blanket or towels so that there is a sense of the chin softening down. And we'll bend out the knees. Starting in with the diaphragmatic breathing. Abdomen gently expands on the in-breath, softens on the out-breath. Notice how the breath feels in the quadrants. The 4 quadrants on the front, 4 quadrants on the back body. And as you breathe in, sensing the 2 lower on the front, on the back, and then the 2 upper. Where is the movement? So we'll tune into the breath throughout the class. As that will tell us about the tension in the low abdomen and the low back, the side body, and upper chest. Let's begin to add our arch. So contracting the muscles on the low back, rolling towards the tailbone. And exhale, floating back to neutral. I invite you to close your eyes so that you maintain your awareness within. Gently rocking towards the tailbone, sensing the contraction and then slowly floating back. So without adding other contraction, just with these first couple. Do it one more time. Contracting, arching the back, and we float to neutral. That neutral will take a breath in for nothing, and we'll exhale, hollow out the belly, and gently flatten the low back. And slowly release to neutral. Let's take a full breath in and out here. And repeating with the arch. Slowly float back to neutral. Breath in for nothing. And exhale, hollowing out. So the lower abdomen contract. You can feel it moving away from your hands. And then we let go of this. Breathing normally. No distractions from muscle contraction. We'll do it one more time. On the in-breath, arch. Floating back. Buffer breath in. And exhale. Flattening the low back. And letting go. Letting the breath return to normal. Let's slide the legs out. Pause. Easy breath. And sensing the breath in the lower quadrants, the upper. And we'll bend out the knees again. This time interlacing the hands behind the head for the arching curl. So we'll begin with the arch. Gently press the elbows down. And exhale, flattening again, moving right into the flattening. Draw the elbows up. And then curling chin and tops of the shoulders up. Then slowly lengthening out. Keep the low back moving towards the floor. Relift the elbows and then gently float them down towards the earth. So this first one, I'm letting you floating down. I'll add counting on the next couple ones. Take a full breath in and out. And then inhale, arch again. Elbows gently presses down. And exhale, flattening, elbows floats up, and head comes up. And then we're only going to come down a third of the way as you inhale. We're going to recontract the lower abdomen, lift up about an inch. Now we'll travel down 2/3 of the way. Keep the low back gently pressing to the floor. We relift again. And this time we'll come all the way down with the head. Elbows are still up. Once the head is down, now relift the elbows so the shoulders floats up a little bit. And let's count those down from 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Let's take a full breath in and out. And we repeat again. Inhale, arch. And exhale, flat. Elbows floats up. You feel the pec majors contracting, the front of the chest. Abdomen draws down, and we'll again do it in thirds. So inhaling, a third of the way down, and then exhale, we recontract. We come up about an inch. Inhale, we lengthen out a little bit more. Keep the low back down, and recontract. Up again an inch. And then slowly lengthening the front all the way out. Relifting the elbows and 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now letting go. We'll take the arms out. Relax them alongside the body. Slide the legs out again. So a little pause. Notice now how your body's resting. Breathing in and out. Sensing the trunk like one big balloon, but with these 8 compartments. So we can tell a lot about the tension on the inside by how these balloons expand, lower and upper. And we'll take the hands behind the head again. And then as you inhale, gently press out through the right heel and then let that go. Pressing out through the right heel again. So we're going to stay on the right side. And begin to invite the right hip down with the heel. So elongating the right waist. To gently lengthen the heel and the hip away from the shoulder. Make it easy, enjoyable. You want movement to be easy, not strained or pained. So the invitation is always to back off if you encounter discomfort. Letting your body know that you come in peace. Now next time the heel comes back, pause. And we're going to slide the right elbow back. So side bending. And back to center. We slide again. This is where the blanket on the mat is really beneficial because it's hard to slide on a sticky mat. Keeping the elbows down, head is down, just resting in the palms of the hands. Let the head roll as it wants to, so not restricting any movement. Helping the right side chest opening up. And then we'll add the heel and the hip back in. So as you now inhale, you'll press out through the heel as the elbow slides in the opposite direction. Gentle and easy. There's curiosity and openness. Not restricting, no force, no pushing, just allowing movement to occur with ease. And after the next one, releasing. Let's release the arms down. We'll have a little pit stop here. Breathing in and out, sensing your body. What is it saying? Maybe it feels like it's laying a little flatter on one side, a little longer, a little bit more spacious. Let's interlace the hands behind the head again. And then we begin to press out through the left heel, just the heel, just the leg first, a couple of times before we begin to take the hip down with it. So get to know the first movement before we add the second. And then maybe begin to invite the hip to join the heel. Elongating and releasing. And easy. Gently concentrating on the sensations of the movement, sensations in the body. The next time you come to neutral, draw the left elbow back and explore this movement. Side bending, lateral bending. It's part of the trauma reflex. The internal and external obliques, among others. The intercostal, the muscles between the rib cages, everything can get really locked down, hindering our breath. Hindering the breath, we hinder every system in the body. And then maybe begin to add the left heel and hip back in. Gently. Oh, so gently. I love the reminder from Rumi, the Sufi poet. He says, make love of yourself. That may be a really tall order for most of us. At times it feels so selfish. But if we don't love ourselves fully, how can we ask anybody else to? Not in an egocentric or selfish way, just an appreciation for all that we are, all that we have experienced. And next time you come back to center, let go of the arms, pause again. Breathing in and out. And then we'll bend the knees up again. We'll take the arms out to a T position. Palms facing up. It's a very easy way of moving. Now rolling the shoulder blades, a sense of moving them towards one another, but together, so the whole arm comes together. And that invites for a little arch. And we're going to roll the shoulder blades back. So we bring this next movement out too. We're going to feel this pulling in of the rhomboid contraction, the shoulder blades moving together. And then the ensuing arch off the back. Because we're going to make this cross the body. First, we're going to just go bilateral before we do unilateral. One more time, pull the shoulder blades together, a little bit down. And now as you come back to center, we're going to cross the right leg over the left. So that becomes the ballast. So in this movement, we work with the outer hip, the external hip. And we've done this one before. I call it the knee dipper. So gently release your knees towards the right side. And exhale, coming back up. And we'll spend a little time with this. Let your foot pivot down with the leg. Exhaling up. Just gently inhaling down. And staying on the side of release, not stretchy. I know it's so tempting to go for that big side or waist stretch. But let the muscles release in an organic and easy way. Now we're going to begin to add the movement of the left arm. So as you come down, the left arm will roll upward and back to neutral. And it is a movement of the shoulder blade, which is dead, pulling towards the center, that I'm inviting you to be curious about. Now you may decide, I do not care for this arm addition, in which case, let go. And hang out with the legs. Maybe the head gently rolls to the left. Maybe it doesn't roll. And one more time. And we come back to center. Uncross the legs. And again, let's take a little pit stop. Slide the legs out. Pause and sense interoception. What changed? And we'll bend out the knees again. And this time crossing the left leg over the right. And again, lazily, we begin to release the knees to the left, contracting, drawing back up. So sensing the release and the contraction. Inhaling down and exhaling up. And this way we are working with the diaphragm, allowing it to move down on the inhale. There's space, and then we contract. We support the exhalation. If you are curious about doing it oppositely, I say go for it. This is not dogma. Some teachers don't address breath at all, but I find it adds icing and sprinkles to the movement. Because the breath is such an integral part of how our muscles move. All right, let's begin to add the right arm. Rolling up, shoulder blades towards the midline as the knees go down. So freeing up the shoulder blades from the back ribs. Easy and gentle. Curiosity. Sense of playful or joyful curiosity. Which is a quality you see. Infants and toddlers, they are just all about exploring. often to the chagrins of the parents. But they don't go about it with sort of a dour and determined, well, today I got to learn how to do this. They just do it. So that's the energy that we want to invite. What happens if we just let go a little? And let's do it one more time. And back up we are. Release the knees. Slide the legs back out. Breathing in and out. Noticing the quadrants, lower abdomen, upper abdomen, front and back. Bend the knees up again for the diagonal arch and curl. And this one is just so good with L, so good. And we'll take the right knee in, left hand behind the head. I like to hold on to the right knee, but sometimes people have it free flowing. That feels a little loosey-goosey to me. But many different teachers, many different tributaries. We're going to begin on the in-breath, arch. So we get a little pec minor event. Exhale, flattening, curl, diagonal towards midline. And then inhale, releasing back out, away from midline. Arching. And exhale, curling up. Slow diagonal. Curl. We'll release back out. Arching. Curling. Sense the muscle. Now, the obliques are working in tandem. External and internal. Internal, the lower. Internal because they sit closer to the center. External because they're further up. Back and forth. Easy. Last one. And as you come back to center, you're curious. What did that do? I am. We'll slide the legs out. And you might notice this was really the first one that addressed the external obliques with the rotation aspect. Is it easier to breathe in to the left lung? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We'll bend up the knees. We'll take the left leg in. And hand behind the head. Right hand behind the head. Away we go. And again, closing the eyes can be really beneficial. Arch of the in-breath. And exhale. Curl diagonally. So it's not that I'm trying to get the elbow to the knee as much as I'm just moving both towards the midline. It is a rotation, so it's not a huge lift. Flatten. Right shoulder lifts up. And I derotate back to center. Arching. flattening right around the axis of the spine. Back down again. Easy and gentle. Rotating on the arc, on the flattening. Sorry. One more time. And we return back to neutral. Everything slides out, letting go of all effort. And we'll roll on to the right side. So another visit from last week when we did what Thomas Hanna deemed or called the daily cat stretch, the side curl. So bending up the knees into 90-90, hips and knees. And today we'll separate them out. Last week we just banged right on in. Take your hand to your waist. And we'll get some feedback that is the muscle we're using. We'll take a breath in for nothing. And as you exhale, hike the left hip up towards the ribs and let that be the event that lifts the leg, the lower leg, knees together. And we'll slowly release back out. Buffer breath. And again, breath in for nothing. And exhale, hike the hip up. And the foot lifts up. So keeping the 90-degree angle behind the knee is important. If you feel this in the hamstring, you may be activating hamstring. It is not invited to the party. We'll take another buffer breath. And then again, breath in for nothing. And exhale, activate. And you can feel it under your hand. Check. Stuff's happening. And we'll put on the headband. And then here now we'll just do the upper body. Same MO. Breath in for nothing. And exhale, draw the ribs towards the hip. And slowly lengthening back out. So lateral flexion. Complement again of the obliques. Breath in and out. Breath in for nothing. And contract. Pulling ribs to hips. Head just floats up. So we're just providing a little hammock for the head to hang out in. And again. Breath for nothing. And exhale. Contract and lift. And then we'll put them back together. Breath in for nothing. And exhale, hip to ribs, ribs to hip. And slowly lengthening back out. So the slower we lengthen out, the longer time the motor cortex has to ponder the action. The buffer breath is so important. It resets. And we'll take the breath in for nothing. And again, exhale, contract, hip to ribs, ribs to hip. Slowly lengthening out. Pause. Last one. When you're ready, contract. And slowly, slowly, slowly. We'll slide the hand to the back of the head and rolling the left shoulder towards the floor. We'll take the right arm straight out from the shoulder. So now we are starting in a rotation position. Here we'll add the arch. So on your next inhalation, arch the low back. And then as you exhale, sense of contracting and derotating back to center. So I'm back into my contracted ribs. And then slowly, I release all the way back out. Buffer breath. And as you inhale, arching again. So a side arch. Then exhale, side flattening that derotates back to center. And slowly, I'm going to release all the way back out. Inviting, but not forcing the left shoulder to maybe move a little closer to the earth. Last one. Inhale, arch. And exhale, side flattening to help me derotate. And side contract, and I lengthen all the way back out. And from here, I'll slowly slide onto my back. Pausing, sensing, inner awareness. Feeling the breath and your body on the mat. Then we'll roll over onto the left side. I will spin about. '90 degrees at knees and hips. So what we're working on here is what's sometimes called the trauma reflex, because they can be off. And when they are off, whether due to scoliosis, surgery, injury, everything else becomes off on that side. Let's start with our internal obliques. So from here, let's take a breath in for nothing. So with a hand on the waist, contract, draw the hip towards the ribs. And slowly releasing back out. Easy buffer breath. Breath in for nothing. And exhale, contract. and feel the contraction. It happens. And slowly, slowly release. Buffer breath. Now let's do it again. One more time. Breath in for nothing. And exhale, contract. Hip hikes up. And slowly, slowly release. And we'll put on the headband. Breath in for nothing. And exhale, ribs to hips. Close the gills. And slowly release. Buffer breath. And again, breath in for nothing. And exhale. Contract. So initiate, feel that contraction. Conscious firing from the motor cortex with the ensuing message from the sensory nerves. Check, it happened. One more time. Buffer breath. And contraction. And we slowly release. And let's combine. Buffer breath in. And exhale, ribs to hips, hip to ribs. And lengthen, 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 lengthen. Back out again. Buffer breath. And then breath for nothing. And out breath. Engage. So it's interesting. Does this side feel like the first side? And again, paying attention that the heel travels straight up, not towards the hip. That would be a compensatory movement pattern. Let's do one more breath. And exhale, hip hikes, ribs draws down, and heel flips up. And slowly come down. It is a much more efficient way to help the muscle release by contracting it and then consciously release. Let's take the left arm out, right hand behind the head, and we begin to just gently roll the right shoulder towards the floor. Breathing in and out. And now we'll add that arch again. So as you inhale, side arch. And exhale, side flatten to help de-rotate. So this is mainly external obliques doing the work. And we slowly lower back out. And a delightful buffer breath, a dessert breath, before we repeat. Inhale, arch. Exhale, side flatten. And would you rotate? Slowly, 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 slowly. Rotating back out. Buffer breath. One more time, arch. And flatten, derotate. And we release. From full contraction to no contraction. Take a breath here. And then find your way onto your back again. Our psoas release. So we'll bend up the left leg, right leg long and flop. We'll interlace the hands behind the head. And that may be all they're going to do. And as always, if this produces discomfort, skip this step. So to help the psoas to release a little bit more, we're going to put a little bit of weight on it. And we'll start with the inhale. We'll arch. And then exhale, flatten the low back and let the leg lift up. Maybe 3-4 inches. It is not a big event. And then slowly, while you reach the leg out, lowering all the way down. Keep the low back down, 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 down. Once the leg is all the way down, let go of the low back. Let's take a full breath in and out. And repeating. Inhale, arch. Exhale, flattening the low back, leg floats up. Again, 3, maybe 6 inches. Keep the low back down as you slowly lower down. A sense of lengthening the leg out. Lengthening, lengthening, lengthening. So we're both lengthening and toning. Once the right leg is down, we let go of all effort. Full breath in and out. And this time, I invite you to curl the upper body up. That way we get the upper fibers, T12 of the psoas. You can choose to skip that part entirely. Inhale, we'll arch. And then exhale, flattening. We're going to lift the upper body first. So shoulders just up. Then we'll take the leg up. Now the low back is flat. So it's like a half low boat pose from yoga. And we'll lower upper body down first. Keep the low back down. And then the legs slowly. Oh, so slowly. Once the leg is down, we let go of all effort. Breath in and out. And let's slide the left leg out. Breathing in and out. Checking in with your breath. What quadrants are lighting up? We'll bend the right leg up. We'll inhale and arch. Exhale, flat, and leg lifts. Pause, not pause, slowly release. Slowly release. sense of gentle lengthening as the leg comes down. And once the leg is down, we let go. Full breath in and out. And we're ready again. Arch. In breath, exhale and flat. Lifting. So the abdominis transversus, your corset is holding everything down. So slowly, 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 allow the psoas to gently lengthen out. So an eccentric event, lengthen but strengthen. And once the leg is down, let go, letting go. Breathing in and out. So remember the psoas, second to the heart only, and how it responds to emotional distress. It tightens, and it doesn't have somebody that releases it unless we do. A lot of back pain is from the psoas having contracted. All right, last one over here. If you'd like to take the head up, by all means, we'll arch again. And exhale, flatten. Head comes up first, the top of the shoulders, head just rests into the hands, then the leg. Lifting up, back is down. And then slowly, 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 slowly lowering down. And then leg. All the way down. And let go. Releasing the hands from behind the head. Breathing in and out. We'll slide the arms up with the big X. So the feet about as wide as the mat, arms about as wide as the mat. It's whatever is comfortable for you. That is key. And when you're ready, you'll begin by pressing out through the right heel and hip and slink that back. Right arm reaches out. Take the ribs along with them. Left arm. Releasing. Left heel. So just going around this big X. Back on the right side. Right leg. Right arm. Slides along the floor, and the head just rolls in whatever way it feels comfortable. Inhaling, slide a limb. Exhale back home. You can take buffer breath in between. Moving in a manner that feels nurturing. Around this big X dial. What is easy and what is not so easy? Always trying to discern, is there a difference from one side of my body to the other? The next time you find yourself all the way around, left heel, everything, we'll draw the legs together at midline, and now we'll consolidate, interlacing the fingers, legs draws together, Stretch the arms overhead. Heels opposite. We'll take the arms back up. Switch the interlace. Palms towards the sky. Tailbone and heel opposite. And elongate. And relax the arms down, legs out to the side. We'll pause. Pause and breathe. The breath flows in. The breath flows out. Sensing the entire body breathing. The inhalation fills the lower belly. Let an in-breath fill your ribs, expanding sideways. Well, we can put these two together. Like a great wave, the in-breath start diaphragmatically. Abs the ribs. And then just a teeny bit right at the top. And as you exhale, top relaxes, ribs relax, belly relax. The wave rises again. Belly, ribs, top. And gently relaxes down. Sensing this wave using the different parts of our breathing apparatus. Let there be just a pause, maybe a 1-count pause after the in-breath and after the out-breath. The 3-part breath, sometimes called the yogic breath. It allows us to access all parts to facilitate the lungs expanding maximally. That was a little awkward. Sorry about that. Front and back and sides and lengthwise. And then after the next one, we're going to let that go. Then gently wiggle fingers, toes. Bend up the knees. And as you bend up the knees, might sort of just gentle little bouncies. Little itty bitty bounces. Pressing the feet down, the whole back body just rocks along. Very soothing movement for the body, and it helps release the fascia of the back body. And a little sacral cranial connection. And then from here, I'm going to let that go. Slide right or left arm overhead. And we're going to roll over onto one side. Pause. And then using the arms and hands to press down. And you find your way up into a seated posture. And we'll bring our palms together. I invite you to join me as we close with the mantra for peace in our world, in our lives, and in our hearts. Om Shanti, 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 Om. Let's take a deep breath in. Om Shanti, 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 Om. May it be so. Thank you. Namaste.